Grand morning, Lucas Nation fans and K.L.P Worldwide fans. This is K.L.P in the Morning with your host, Kennedy Lucas, of course. Hopefully you guys are ready for another exciting morning show. Now, I have a secret to let you guys know about. I'm not in Host Stream Studios. No. I'm here in Orange Beach, Alabama this morning, of course. We've got the good water this time. Normally I would have cranberry juice for K.L.P in the Morning, but I decided to go with water because I need it. We're actually here on business. If you guys know, for my K.L.P Entertainment on Facebook and my social media and etc. We went to Orange Beach, Alabama for business. Quick shout out again. I know I'm doing shout outs a little bit early onto the morning show here this morning, but big shout out to GGC again. I know I've done so many shout outs for GGC, but this week has been an emotional week for GGC, specifically the GGC women's soccer. Of course, they went to nationals. They didn't quite make the cut, but they went to nationals. So, a huge shout out to them because we really saw the effort in their game. And, I follow the majority of the ladies on social media, so I know how it is, how bad they really wanted it. So, a huge shout out to them. Especially to our seniors, congratulations for making this a great season and a great year. So huge shout out to them. Shout out again to GDN members, of course, Daniel Reid and Chris Morales. Daniel's right next to me. If you want to say, Daniel Reid, he's here. Of course, GDN, we got hired by Turbo Sports to film the whole tournament. So we are exhausted this week, but luckily we had a day off. Getting ready to have a day off, so GDM members are here, so we're filming. That's the whole reason why we're here in Orange Beach, Alabama. And when you guys see it this morning, the title is K.L.P in the Morning live from Orange Beach, Alabama. So we're having a great time. We're just exhausted because we're working. So enough about that. Again, my shout outs are out there. So I wanted to talk about some tech news again. Let me take a swig of this water. You guys know what I do. I do this on every morning show. So we're going to talk about it. Of course, please comment below if you guys went Black Friday shopping. What was it? Last week, I want to say. If you guys went Black Friday shopping, please let me know in the comments. I actually did go Black Friday shopping. I am one of those people now who say that I can't say that I hate doing Black Friday shopping. Simply because I did go Black Friday shopping right after Thanksgiving. Shout out to the Mafia, of course, my clique, y'all. We ate over at our friend's house, and then we actually went Black Friday shopping. Of course, I will post on my Instagram what I bought later on in the week. But the reason why I brought up Black Friday shopping because, surprisingly, Daniel.
Yes.
Surprisingly, that Nintendo is the highest selling console from Black Friday this year.
I can believe it. I mean, last year they had troubles with only being able to sell 1 or 2 consoles per customer. Same thing happened with, believe it or not, the Wii Fit board.
Mm-hmm.
Only could buy 1 per person when it first came out because they were trying to limit the cost. And you can see how well that console went for Wii. But, Nintendo's been pulling it back again with the Nintendo Switch especially.
Mm-hmm.
Games really starting to push through with their company now that they're developing their own face for everything. So I'm surprised to hear that, though. I mean, it's not too surprising now that there's word of a new generation of consoles coming up this next year or two with PlayStation 5 or whatever. And Xbox,
PlayStation 5.
whatever.
I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed because Lucas Nation, I just got my PlayStation 4 this past September. I got it this past September because Spider-Man came out in September. So I had to get it solely for that, and then I started building on it. And now you hear that, PlayStation 5 is coming out. So
whatever it is, gonna call it.
Whatever they're calling it. A rumor has it they're calling it PlayStation 5. They might think of a crazy name. So again, Nintendo's kicking it right now. Of course, you got the new games that's coming out. You got the new Super Smash Brothers coming out in December. Comment below, guys, if you're going to go see that game. Go get the game later on next month, of course. Black Friday, in my opinion, did you go Black Friday shopping?
I got actually a lot of things. It's funny you bring up Spider-Man because I actually got Spider-Man for the PS4.
You did? Oh, you're going to love it.
So the thing is, I saved a lot of money for this Black Friday. So I got a PS4. because they had a Spider-Man bundle for $200 with it. So I had to get it.
Really cheap.
Got that. I got a lot of the PS4 games: God of War, Witcher 3, the Crash Bandicoot series because I grew up on because it got HD remake. Gravity Push 2, a Sony exclusive game, and Mega Man 11. Game I've been waiting for years.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's talking about that one. Everyone's talking about that one.
I'm really looking forward to God of War and Spider-Man, though.
Yeah. God of War you're going to enjoy. I have both. Yeah. Spider-Man and God of War.
It's so beautiful.
The gameplay, Lucas Nation fans, I told you guys on Twitter like last month about God of War. We're doing that. I got y'all. We've just been so busy. But I got you guys on that gameplay because I already did like Red Dead and Spider-Man, but I haven't done God of War LPs yet. But I will. So again, comment below if you guys are getting it. The Nintendo Switch right now, it's the highest selling right now, solely because of that purpose. Of course, you got Chris Morales is coming in, man. We gonna give you a shout out, buddy.
Yeah.
K.L.P in the mornings.
It's a small morning.
Yeah, in the morning. You know. Yeah. So, again, we got GDM members here, y'all. We're having a good time this week. But again, like I mentioned before, please go get. Again, if you are a Nintendo fan, just don't forget. And before I gotta bring this out to the Lucas Nation fans because we were talking about me and my mafia. You guys know my other side friends. We were talking about it before we came here to Alabama. It's not always about the gift. It's about celebrating a holiday with your friends and family. So as you go shopping this month in December, do not forget the values of friends and family because, me and the mafia, we're doing Secret Santa. We're buying 7 gifts and receiving 7 gifts, but it's not always about the gifts. It's about really celebrating the holidays with either your friends or family. I'm fortunate to celebrate it with both friends and family, but I never want to forget the value of giving and celebrating a holiday, not just who you're gonna buy a gift for and how much it's gonna cost for the month of December. So I just want to bring that out to you guys. So the next topic, of course, we're gonna have some music on to the K.L.P in the morning, but the next topic I wanted to talk about, y'all. Let's talk about our childhood. Y'all heard Steven Hillenburg. The creator of SpongeBob has passed away this week at the age of 57. He had ALS. How do y'all feel about that?
It's surprising. Was he making SpongeBob the entire time up until his death?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, hot darn. LAS is something to push through, especially when you reach the end of it. So to hear that he's been working on his life work up until the day he died is something to inspired to be. Yeah. I hope SpongeBob does something special for him. Whatever it may be. It could be.
I don't know. I mean, it's a kids show, so maybe they'll do an in memoriam in the credits, and that's about it.
Well, no, absolutely not. If anything, they could do a self-insert to character for his own thing, because that's what Butch has done for a few of his shows, and that hasn't gone terrible. But for something like this, it's a special occasion. Something special should be done for a show that's been going on for 22 years now?
For sure. Do you think SpongeBob is getting, because us 90 kids know the old SpongeBob was hilarious and funny as hell, but now you got the next generation you got different writers this time around who are making the newer episodes and they're just not as funny. Would you prefer the next generation of SpongeBob or the old generation where we're growing up with SpongeBob ripping his pants and when he first,
I mean, you go.
Okay. I grew up on SpongeBob first. I'm 20 years old. I was born in 1998. One of my first shows I can remember growing up on, though, was Barney, Teletubbies, all that kind of stuff, and SpongeBob specifically as well. One of my earliest episodes of SpongeBob I could probably remember is the Valentine's episode where SpongeBob takes Patrick out for Valentine's Day. And nowadays, you wouldn't really see those kinds of episodes because it's a bit... It's hard to capture those kinds of feelings of the 2003, 2007 era of show telling, because you got shows like SpongeBob that are kind of like shows like Rocket Power and Rumble and Stiltsky. I think that's it. I can't remember the name of the show. It's been so long. But nowadays the show's kind of grown up to its newer generation. I will say it's a bit front faced with its humor, but I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. If a show keeps on showing the same kind of humor throughout all of its years,
that means it's working.
You kind of have things like The Simpsons and Family Guys where That's not a bad thing. You haven't seen really shows like that show different humor.
Yeah,
they
that's
pretty
true.
much have had the same humor for the most part. They've definitely changed throughout the years. Yeah, but they have their punchline, and it rarely changes. SpongeBob has changed his punchline, and for the most part, that's good. It's good to be able to like have different parts of your life to work on, whether that's good or bad.
Right.
So for the most part, for these next few years of SpongeBob without Steven Hillenburg, I expect to see some changes. I don't expect to see too many changes, but it'll probably pander to a younger audience now that we have a new face, possibly taking over the studio.
Yeah.
Overall, as the main writer, I guess. I don't know what his stance was, but yeah. That would be my take on the SpongeBob scenario now that Steven Hillenburg has passed on.
Alrighty. You heard it here, folks. Of course, Daniel Reid, man.
He's got opinions.
You got some good you need to come on YouTube, my friend. Honestly, come on YouTube for sure, y'all. Yeah, so that's hey, Daniel Reid, you're right, man. You're right.
The show's just gonna grow from here, whether it's big or small.
But do you think that they're gonna stop making the show,
absolutely
or do you think
not.
it's gonna
a money grab?
It's not just a money grab. It's just
it brings in too much.
SpongeBob has never been something that you really think about ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that either turns into something else, or it eventually just grows.
Right.
SpongeBob right now is growing, but I don't ever see SpongeBob ending for quite some time now. They'd have to. They would do something that's money grab related for the last season to try to get people like us to watch the show, and people like the current generation to watch the show, and then they would probably lay it to quote unquote rest before reviving it a few years down the line. Like most people, like Mickey Mouse, anything like that Disney does, they give it a few years and stuff like that. But that's what I have to say. What else we got to talk about? We could talk about SpongeBob for
we could.
I'd like to see where we go from here from Steven Hillenburg before I start making predictions.
Absolutely.
So don't have big hopes, but I have hopes.
All right. Alrighty, so we're gonna take a little break, y'all. We're gonna play some music for y'all, and we'll be back here on K.L.P in the Morning with not only Kennedy Lucas, but we got Christopher Morales and Daniel Reid. We'll be right back, y'all. 3 music group, of course, playing the hottest tracks for you guys that we like here in K.L.P Entertainment. Again, like I mentioned here, we're not in studio. We're not in Host Stream Studios. We are actually live here in Orange Beach, Alabama this morning. Of course, we have my guest host again, Daniel Reid and Christopher Morales from GDN. We're doing some business here. So this next and final topic we're going to talk about on this little special here is, of course, the hit movie that's coming out in December, Aquaman. So, fellas, what are your thoughts first?
I went first last time.
Honestly, DC for me has been hurting. It's a sore spot. It's a sore spot for me. Like, especially the last one with the Batman Superman. I mean, oh my god, they share the same name. We're instantly blood brothers. Like, no, that's not how that works. But I have hopes mostly because just from the trailers, it looks BA. It looks pretty awesome. It looks pretty sick, and I really like Jason Momoa. He's a solid actor.
Yeah.
Just from his work in Game of Thrones alone, I mean, he is awesome, and I think he's going to bring in a good crowd. And I just hope that the writers and directors don't botch this one, because really, DC, the DC movie universe just really needs a good one. Like, they had Wonder Woman, that was amazing.
That was amazing.
But that really was their only good movie, truthfully speaking. Because, I mean, if you go back to any other DC movie, I mean, there's so many flaws. And I'm not just talking about, like, oh, in the comic books, you know, this did this. No, like, they seriously
How do you feel about Justice League?
Justice League?
Justice League, to me, was actually pretty good. I mean, I think they could have made it a little bit better towards the fight scene. I think it was just too plain, in my opinion, because I've seen, you know, fight scene, final boss scenes in superhero movies, and it's just
short.
Yeah, it was just short, and when I saw it, it didn't like be like, oh my god, like what's happening next? It was just, oh, okay, you know.
I think what's his face did a great job of Barry Allen.
Ezra.
That's what I was about to say. Ezra?
What
no,
most
Ezra.
people.
Ezra.
But
yeah,
my opinion on Aquaman before we go off topic.
Yes,
before we go off topic, we're gonna talk about that later.
Jason, I love Jason. He really redeems Aquaman's old stereotype of being the useless hero. The movie, especially with the old '80s outfit, is, I feel like it's going to be a really '80s vibe movie, which is great to see because it's going to be traditional while bringing in a modern look to Aquaman. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a very stereotypical movie, and I think that's good. I think that's what they keep it simple. I think DC needs to play it simple, safe, and fun. Yes, and that's what they're doing with Aquaman right now. Surprisingly, out of all the heroes, again, and I say that perfectly because of the stereotype, and that's what I hope to see break today or whenever I see it. So I'm looking forward to it. Really good.
I think it's different. Different side of DC. They're bringing in, you know, different character elements for Aquaman. I have high hopes for this movie. I told my brother, big shout out to Big Head Rah. He works at a movie theater, and I told him, like, hey, when this movie come out, we got to go see this movie. I'm very interested to see how are they going to relate to, let's say, the comics, or are they putting up a twist to this one? It's tough for me to judge right now because I haven't, by trailers, like, okay, there's a little bit in comics.
Is, oh, you haven't seen the trailers?
I've seen the trailers for Aquaman, yes.
I was about to say, because last trailer I saw, Black Manta is going to be released, and Black Manta is my favorite villain in DC.
Oh wow,
DC villain,
and it's gonna be cool. They're bringing him in so early into the series, but it's a good grab, easy villain. So that's why
I'm worried that they're gonna rush his villainy, like they do with the Fantastic Four.
You could always rush it and then go back on it for Black Manta because it's really easy to tell his backstory.
True, but then again, you know, if you rush it, rushing is rushing, and even if it does him justice, quote unquote, it really, again, when you rush someone's backstory in, you're gonna know it's a movie you're watching. When you watch a movie and you want to be able to sit down and then realize at the end credit scene that was a great movie. You don't want to think. Yeah. You don't want to be judging the movie as the movie's happening. You want to be encapsulated in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if you rush anything, if it's not flowing well, you know, if that's what they're doing. I don't know. Again, they really need to keep it simple. DC does not keep things simple. and I'm really nervous about that because just like Marvel did and keeps doing with Doctor Doom. You know, like the last Fantastic Four movie, they really did not do him justice at all.
You're not talking about the newest one, right? Because the new one, I'm sorry, the new one sucked ass.
Yeah, I am talking about the newest one.
That one was terrible. Even Michael B. Jordan said that was the worst thing he ever did was that role because that was just
poor guy.
Poor guy did it, you know, but
great actor.
He's like, I just work it.
Yeah. So
to rush in, we can rush into that next topic: Marvel versus DC.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, absolutely.
How do we feel about Marvel versus DC? I'm a Marvel boy.
I'm a Marvel boy too, simply because
I'm a Marvel boy.
We're all Marvel because
the thing is, I can understand DC.
Oh, we're gonna get a lot of hate comments.
No.
If any K.L.P Worldwide fans like DC, we're sorry.
Guys, you have to understand, Marvel is I feel like is a much bigger universe and a lot more balanced insofar as there are different tiers. So, DC isn't very tiered. You have every hero is teamed up with a guy who has a great utility belt. Like, you have a guy with literal X-ray vision and heat ray and, like, any power that you could think of, literally, if it's convenient and he needs it, they came up with it. And he's like, oh, I have this. And, like that's
so
how
here brings the concept of what does it mean to be Marvel versus what does it mean to be DC.
True.
Mm-hmm.
For me, a quote that I heard about what it means to be Marvel and what it means to be DC. Marvel is all about men trying to become gods, and DC is all about gods trying to become men.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great viewpoint for seeing just how human to alien to alien to human, we see both series. Marvel, you have a lot of people from Earth trying to become something more than their some of their parts. And then you got people from DC that are the sum of their parts that just want to become a simpler works.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
because Superman wants to become a cog while also trying to be helpful in his overall life. Because he likes being Superman, but it's much for one guy. But for people in the Marvel universe, you got people like Mr. Fantastic, as we were saying earlier, his son. Yeah. Forget his name. Most powerful person in the entire Marvel universe, debatably, when it comes to humans. He can create a universe in his hands. And that's to show you that we have humans trying to obtain such powerful godlike works, and we have people like Superman, debatably the most overpowered character in DC, trying to become nothing more than a helpful person in life.
I will agree that those seem to be more prevalent themes in each universe, but I don't know if you could actually call them themes of the universe universes.
That's just to give it a theme.
I guess, but again, from Batman to Green Lantern, you have a lot of heroes that are humans that aim to be gods, not just they're the inverse Superman. So to speak.
I guess,
and then you have in the Marvel universe, you have things like Thanos. You have Galactus. You have all these celestial beings. You have Thor, for Christ's sake. You have gods trying to fit in or just be actual gods, screw fitting in. Like it's. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're themes of the universes, but they are very prevalent. So
it's the most popular people that I'm talking about because you have Iron Man being a great popular example of someone trying to be greater than who really can be.
Yes.
So and again I say Superman being the most popular for DC, and again Batman's a great example.
Right.
A human trying to be better than he is.
As far as pop
I wouldn't
DC and
really
pop
say
Marvel
Batman's
go,
a god.
I wouldn't say that either.
He's got
money,
money
and power. But
you'd think the Riddler would be smart enough to know. The one way to be Batman is really simple, folks. Go after his stocks. The second he can't afford that utility belt is the second he's done.
So again, I personally, if I had to prefer DC over Marvel, I prefer Marvel only because at a young age that's when you get influenced. DC is a great comic book series overall. Detective Comics, I've loved them for all my life. They are really dark though, and it's really hard to get into those really dark series sometimes at a young age. I'm not saying all of them. They have plenty of kid-like comics, but down to their core, their very beginnings were based on dark concepts of Batman and such, of dead parents. And it's hard to be like from the suburbs, middle-class era kid reading this comic book and like dead parents and all that kind of glum stuff, and you get that weird feeling while you're reading Marvel and you read like
it is way darker.
What's a good Marvel example?
Captain America.
Well, yeah, Captain America would be a good example.
He's like G.I. Joe.
Captain
Like-
America being a great example of just
that's
reading
good.
some
I mean-
from the Bronx Kid.
Yeah.
We're Bronx, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
Queens.
Sure.
I can't remember.
It's fine.
You have this guy from Brooklyn, super soldier, World War II vet, family, friends, just
Right.
had a hard time growing up from something,
Just
trying to
bullying,
become,
you know,
yeah.
because he wasn't
So,
the biggest
yeah.
guy.
I'd say comparing DC and Marvel, you gotta give it to DC for being great with their complicated storylines and such, and keeping up with them as well as a collective whole with their community. While Marvel is such a mess when it comes to their
They have
community.
done forever.
Yeah, they.
Fun fact: DC and Marvel for a bit. I wanted to say in the 1990s actually had a run where they actually created a joint universe.
Yeah, I heard that.
A joint
yes,
universe
and you know, I can actually tell
between
you
the
that.
two.
My last thing will be about this topic, but is Doctor Strange.
Uh-huh.
When Doctor Strange was first made, he was not owned by Marvel or DC.
For sure.
He was created by an independent company,
Yeah.
and that independent company worked for both Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
So
I didn't
that's
know
why,
that.
That's
Yeah.
why Doctor Strange is involved both in the DC universe and the
Yeah.
Marvel universe. Is because in his first few comics, they didn't know who wanted Doctor Strange.
Mhm.
So he just kept going back and forth until someone bought him, which was Marvel.
Mm.
So that being one of my favorite characters, and that being a great example of you don't need to like Marvel or DC to have a favorite. You can be a part of
Right.
both and have a genuinely good
That's true.
experience from both companies.
Okay, absolutely. So, final thoughts. Aquaman. Is
Aquaman.
it will? Do you think? Because it's early to tell. Do you think this is a movie you're gonna go buy a ticket
Absolutely.
and see?
Yeah, I'll see a movie ticket. I'm not gonna see it IMAX. I don't think,
Okay.
but I'll definitely see it. You know, $8.
I'm gonna see it with my dad. And we're gonna have a great time because me and him both love Black Manta. So it's gonna be great
okay.
to see
Black Manta's
how that looks in theaters and hear
Yeah.
his thoughts on it too.
Alrighty, you heard it, folks. Lucas Nation fans. That's gonna be it for K.L.P in the Morning Live here in Orange Beach, Alabama. I just want to thank Christopher Morales
Yeah.
and again Daniel Reid for being
welcome
on
to be
the
show.
show this morning. So get up. It's time for you to go to work. It's time for us to relax. It's actually our day off. But we'll catch you guys. Please subscribe to my channel at K.L.P Entertainment and all my social medias. And I'll have all of my buddies' social media accounts.
Let me know we got on Black Friday.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let
right.
them know. For sure. So we're signing off, of course, K.L.P in the Morning with K.L.P Kennedy Lucas. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.